I mean, regardless of whether or not I accept it, the question is, do our students accept it? That's really what's at heart here. They went after our 5,000 students at our event there of high school and college kids. And look, I get attacked all the time. People say false things. I'm a public figure. But when you go after 16 and 17-year-olds that travel from across the country that then have to live for the rest of their life with a shadow over them because someone at ABC says that they might be linked to neo-Nazis.
Sunny Hostin completely lost her cool live on national TV. One minute she was calm, the next, things went off the rails, all thanks to Charlie Kirk. The exchange got so heated, the audience didn't know whether to clap, gasp, or step in. It wasn't just a debate, it was a full-on takedown. Sunny's arguments fell apart quickly, and Charlie didn't just push back, he dominated. She ended up stumbling over her words, visibly shaken and clearly thrown off. It was more than just a tense moment, it was a talk show meltdown that people won't forget anytime soon.
Her disgusting, gross elitism and her complete out-of-touch nature with respect to the rest of the world. Sunny Hostin goes on The View and decides now would be a great time to dump all over the so-called uneducated.
What we did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump. Uneducated white women, is my understanding. You have Latino men, actually, voting more for him. And you have, and black men was not the story. We're not the story here because they voted almost 80% for the vice president.
Right. Just because you didn't go to college doesn't mean you're stupid, and it doesn't mean that you don't have wisdom.
Here's the twist. Sunny wasn't ambushed at all. No surprise guests, no loud arguments, no rowdy audience. What hit her was a viral video from Charlie Kirk, edited to perfection and released online. He wasn't even there in person. From his own platform, he tore apart her views with dramatic music, flashy graphics, and sharp commentary. It was more like a digital takedown than a debate, and it worked. Sunny got roasted online without even stepping into the fight.
But look, what did it take for us to get to the point of an apology? We had to threaten a lawsuit, Jesse. And by the way, we're still entertaining it. We're talking to some of the best lawyers out there that are experts in this. And as you know, these things can be very complicated. There's a lot of facts and circumstances around it. But we're not going to let this go because you should not be able to smear 5,000 high school and college kids and then just be able to walk away with it. And the reason they felt they needed to do that, Jesse, is because if they told their audience the truth, that when gas is the most expensive it's been, flights are super expensive, that 5,000 kids decided to spend a weekend in summer traveling across the country to go hear from conservative speakers, maybe the audience to The View would think twice about all of their ideas.
This wasn't just criticism, it was a total online takedown. Charlie Kirk didn't just challenge Sunny Hostin's views, he dismantled them from a distance with a highly produced viral video. It had music, graphics, and sharp edits that hit hard. And the internet ran with it. Within hours, social media was buzzing with headlines claiming Sunny got hit with a dose of reality. Reddit threads exploded and reaction videos poured in. The usually polished daytime show suddenly felt off balance. Sunny, known for staying composed, looked shaken. No shouting or drama, just quiet, visible discomfort. Her confidence slipped and her body language said it all. It wasn't a loud meltdown, but a clear, uncomfortable moment broadcast live. Meanwhile, Charlie, far away, didn't need to show up or play fair. He dominated from behind a screen. And whether she wanted it or not, Sunny became the face of a viral internet moment.
White privilege is a racist myth that is rooted in bigotry, trying to classify people based on their skin color. If you are a racist, you have something to apologize for. If you're a white person who is not a racist, you have nothing to apologize for. And anyone who makes you apologize just based on the color of their skin, they're the racist and you're not.
Here's the real kicker. Charlie Kirk didn't just challenge Sunny Hostin's opinions. He went after everything she represents. The calm, polished, media-trained professional. That's exactly what he aimed at and hit. Kirk doesn't really debate. He dismantles. He treats public figures like online usernames, strips away the nuance, and turns them into viral content. Facts weren't the goal, attention was. And on that front, he was way ahead. While Sunny was preparing thoughtful takes, Kirk already had viral clips edited, fans flooding social media with memes, and even merchandise ready to go. This wasn't about winning a debate. It was about being the loudest, fastest, and most unforgettable force online. And this time he was
This Turning Point conference, Nazis were in the front of out there in front of the conference with anti-Semitic slurs, and the swastika.
I think it's important that every single person that attended that Turning Point, every Republican speak up against these, because against the flags that were waved.
You let them in.
President, open your
You let them in and you knew what they were.
Right.
So you are complicit.
Picture this. Sunny thought she was hosting a regular midweek segment, calm and controlled. But behind the scenes, Charlie Kirk had already stirred up a full-blown media storm. And to be fair, The View is no stranger to drama. They've handled walk-offs, heated debates, even on-air tears. But this was different. There was no direct confrontation, no warning, just a sudden online ambush. And the cameras caught it all. Every nervous glance, every pause, every shift in her voice. Sunny, usually composed and confident, looked rattled. She wasn't debating, she was reacting, caught off guard in the middle of a digital attack. Kirk's team wasted no time, flooding the internet with reaction clips and edits that turned her discomfort into viral moments. Conservative blogs cheered, calling it a win. Even Gen Z jumped in, turning her expressions into memes. And while the chaos spread online, Kirk stood back, basking in the attention, knowing he'd just scored big in the court of public opinion.
And the final point I'll say is this, is Sunny, you guys thought that abortion was going to be this like quasi-zealot religious issue? I'm pro-life. If people in the audience aren't, that's fine. What I'm saying though, what gives me promise, and I think we can all agree on this, is that there are other issues that should animate and drive our politics other than this very divisive one. And I was really encouraged by that, Megan. Very encouraged, because the media was forcing this as an up or down vote on a referendum on a highly complicated, very emotional, very personal issue.
And honestly, critics had a point. Charlie Kirk knows how the modern media game works. These days, it's not about who's right, it's about who controls the moment. Who stays calm, hits the emotional notes, and packages it for the algorithm. The second that clip dropped, Sunny got outplayed. This wasn't a debate, it was a meme war. She showed up with facts. Kirk came with viral firepower. What he delivered wasn't just opinion, it was calculated chaos. A sleek, edited content bomb that didn't invite a response. It steamrolled everything in its path. It was bold, sharp, and designed to win the internet, not the argument. And that's where Sunny lost, not on substance, but in optics. She built a reputation on calm, confident debate, but none of that stood a chance once the internet turned her into the week's main target.
Before I come back, in Monday's conversation about Turning Point USA, I put the young people at the conference in the same category as the protesters outside. And I don't like it when people make assumptions about me, and it's not any better when I make assumptions about other people, which I did. So, my bad. I'm sorry.
This wasn't about Sunny being wrong. It was about how she looked, shaken, unsure, and visibly human. And in 2025, showing that kind of vulnerability on live TV is all it takes to go viral for the wrong reasons. Charlie Kirk didn't win by making smarter points. He won by being loud, ruthless, and impossible to ignore. And the internet feeds on that kind of spectacle. Daytime TV used to be predictable, friendly conversations, and polished moments. But now it's a digital battlefield. Sunny walked in expecting a calm discussion and ended up in the middle of a media ambush. No backup, no quick recovery, just her trying to hold it together as the cameras captured every moment in 4K. That one viral clip changed everything. She went from confident to cornered, from expert to exposed. It wasn't just a bad moment, it became a digital case study. She gave it her best, no doubt. But once your image turns into a meme, there's no pause button. Just endless clips, edits, and the internet watching it all on repeat.
Look at your achievements. How do you like the so-called uneducated now, Sunny?
Yeah, and again, by the way, rarely do you get the answer to a question in the question. And her whole question is exactly why there was a rebellion against them.
Yes.
Listen, just because you didn't go to college doesn't mean you're stupid, and it doesn't mean that you don't have wisdom. I always differentiate between knowledge and wisdom. You can go to college and get a bunch of irrelevant facts about how men can allegedly give birth or whatever they teach. I mean, or about North African lesbian poetry. Okay, that's fine, I guess.
Meanwhile, Charlie Kirk wasn't just celebrating, he was everywhere. TikTok clips, reaction memes, smug screenshots, the internet lit up. And the media did what it often does, chased clicks over context. Suddenly, Sunny's blinking, silence, and even her facial expressions were headline material. Whole articles broke down her body language like it was evidence in a trial. This wasn't journalism, it was digital pylon. Debates used to be about ideas, now it's about who can go viral with a 10-second clip. Once someone turns your reaction into a meme with sad music and a freeze frame, the argument's over, even if your facts were solid. Charlie didn't need papers or deep research. He brought a digital wrecking ball, and the wildest part, he never even showed up in person. It was like watching someone drop into a live show remotely, blow it up, and walk away sipping coffee from a podcast studio.
Now we begin with a shocking apology just a short time ago from the ladies of The View to Turning Point USA. A war of words broke out after the conservative group was rallying the next generation of voters at its youth summit in Tampa, Florida this weekend. And the liberal panel just couldn't help themselves. The group sent a scathing cease and desist letter after hosts on The View suggested that Turning Point had embraced neo-Nazis who showed up outside the event.